Okay, perfect. I think we are recording now. Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Raj, and I am a PhD student at IISc. Here I am. I'll be conducting the uh, doubt clearing sessions for, let's say, for the next 4 weeks. Every Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. will be our time, and we will, any doubts that you have in the course, you can ask me. So for that, this session is there. So, if any one of you have a doubt, we can start from there, or we'll just cover the basics of the Python, variables and stuff that was covered in the lectures. Uh, so yeah, that's the idea. So if you have doubts, you can just raise your hands, and I'll keep asking you to share your doubts one after the other. Shubham, yes, you're not audible. I am currently talking. Yeah. Yes, Dinesh, go ahead. Dinesh, go ahead with your doubt. Does anyone have a doubt? Nobody has a doubt, is it? Everything is clear. Yes, Karthikeyan, go ahead.
Sir, am I audible? Am I
Yeah, you're
audible?
audible.
Sir, in this course, you have given Spider. I'm using Google Colab. Is it possible to have my session Colab, or definitely I want to install Spider?
No, no, you can do it on Colab also. So whatever the Python commands that you will run, because it's just based on Python as such. It doesn't matter if you're using Spider or Colab for that matter. That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. How deployments are done in Python. Um, Whether it will be covered in this course. No, deployments and all that, I don't think will be covered in this course. I think this is basically on how you can do data science with Python. Um, so next week, I think we're going to cover on how, I mean, the course will cover on how, things like sequence data can be stored, for example, lists that. And we'll also have a introduction on NumPy, which these lectures are already up already. And the third week is going to cover on Pandas library, how you can read data using Pandas and how you can save data, etc. And the fourth week is going to cover on like how you can do basic machine learning, exercises. So it won't be covering how deployments are done in Python. Pawan. Yes, Madhura, you can ask your question.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, the first week of the class they taught us Spider. Now the second week they've started doing Anaconda and Jupyter. So which is like the
Hmm.
perfect IDE for using data science? Should we prefer Spider or Anaconda or Colab or Replit? Which is fine? Which is like the best option? And what are the differences in choosing each of them?
So see, I've personally used so this the one in the behind this is PyCharm interface, by the way, the one that you can see on screen currently. So I've personally used PyCharm, I've used Colab, I've used Jupyter. So the way I feel it is Colab and Jupyter are useful when you want to visualize a lot of your data. So when you're doing plots and you want to, get a quick, working of what's happening in the data set. But in case you want to write code for development, that is basically you want to write a product out of what you're doing. I feel PyCharm is much better for that. So for initial, I would say if you can start with Spider, it would be good, and later on you can see how things are how things go about. People generally also use Jupyter in conjunction with Spider or PyCharm. So basically, you will have like, let's say, one particular folder where you can store all the Jupyter, files, and then you would use Jupyter command on command line to deploy a Jupyter local server, and then you can use Jupyter functionality with that also. So that's also another combination that people use both together. There is Jupyter plus like a Spider or PyCharm. Does that clear your
Thank you,
doubts?
sir. And one more thing is that now, since we are following, I am a computer and data science student doing my engineering now.
Okay.
So, DSA is mostly done by the core branch. DSA, they follow the lead code and everything. Do you think even data science needs, even we need to do some data structure questions, like DSA questions on lead code? Do we need to go in depth or is only the basics enough?
For data science, I would suggest basics are enough. But again, see, interview processes are different. Again, every company has its own way of doing interviews and stuff like that. But generally, again, I have also been in a data science role before, so I can say that it's mainly not you don't need that depth of DSA. Basics would be enough for doing data science as such.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. How to prepare for exam? I think this might be a better question on the better posted on the discussion forum that you have on the Google group. Basically, uh, the other TAs can guide you on what sort of how the question paper is going to be and stuff like that. Can I use PyCharm for data science? Yes, you can use PyCharm for data science, Shreya. What is the exam registration we should apply for that, or do we have to wait? You'll have to look at the official NPTEL announcements for that. Yeah. If you're going to prepare SQL, I don't think you will be doing SQL in this course. How much mathematics is required for learning data science? So it depends on how much depth you're going to go. So at the surface level, you will need to know a bit of optimization, a bit of probability distributions, how to compute mean, how to compute variance for distributions and stuff like that. That should be that should be good enough. When will exam registrations be closed? Again, just check the NPTEL official notification for that. Elaborate on precedence of operators. Okay. Um, what doubt do we have in that? Uh, uh, Ranganayakulu, do you have any specific doubt on that? So Unnati, I'm not sure what you mean by what about assignments. What about assignments, matlab?
Hello, Raj.
Yes. Go ahead, Ranganayaku. Yeah.
So there was a topic like precedence of operators. What is it exactly? It is like, what is this precedence? It is like importance of operators or priority of some operators. What is this precedence? Like in one of the assignments, what is the precedence that comes after not operator? What is it exactly? What is this
Okay.
precedence? What is its significance? It is not very clear.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah. So, are you aware of this idea of BODMAS rule?
Pardon? Idea of?
BODMAS, BODMAS.
No. I am new to this data science and all. I am from control background, instrumentation, different side.
No, that's fine. So let's say, for example, in general mathematics, for example, I'll ask you that, let's say, if you have to evaluate an expression like this, 4 into 2, 3 plus 2, how would you evaluate this expression? What is
First
the
we
value that you would get?
first we multiply 4 into 2, then we add it to 3.
Then you will do 3, right? Why that way you will do it?
Okay.
I can also
There
do
comes
3
the
plus 4
precedence.
and then
Okay.
into 2.
Okay.
Right, exactly. So precedence is exactly what you said. It's about the priority of the different operators. So
Okay.
for
If there
example,
is a lengthy expression, we have to consider the table of precedence of operators. Accordingly, we have to evaluate it based on the one that comes first in the precedence. Okay.
yes, that's correct.
Fine,
So
it's clear.
as you can see, yeah. So for example, in this case, because the multiplication has a higher precedence, so Python basically evaluates 4 into 2 first, and then adds to 3, and that becomes 11, which is exactly what the BODMAS rule tells you. So BODMAS rule actually what it means is, I mean, in this actually stands for bracket. Then you have something called as an off operator, then division, then multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. That's
Okay.
in mathematics, that's how you would do it. So, but in Python, again, we have not just these operators, right? We have other operators like less than operator, greater than all of these relational operators. Then we also have binary operators. So because there are multiple operators, each operator gets a precedence based upon, its priority. And then let's say if you have multiple operators with same precedence, right? Then I mean, because it's same precedence, it won't change much. But then even then, the idea is you'll follow from left to right, right? So let's say 3 plus 4 minus 2. Then what Python does first is it'll do 3 plus 4 first, and then it'll do minus 2. It'll do then 5. That's how it goes.
Okay, I have another question.
Yeah.
There are two operators, logical and bitwise AND. I think they're functionally same, right? Or is there any difference? While evaluating, I think in bitwise we do the same AND bit by bit. In logical AND it is also same, right? Please clarify this.
Yeah. So logical and is done between two logical Boolean operands basically. So if we know the types of operands that we have.
In bitwise also it is bit by bit. It is also Boolean, right? Zeros, ones. In logical also we do the same between zeros and ones.
Yeah. So just a moment. So basically, whatever logical. So what you're saying is exactly correct, but the output of that operation, that what is different, right? So in logical operation, let's say if I do something like 5 and 3, so this is a bitwise operation. This will give me 1, but if I say 5 and 3, this gives me 3 because that's final. This one is 3. So here, if you use, let's say, true and false. Sorry. Yeah, so it gives me false because this is so basically the logical and operator that operates on two Boolean data types and gives you a Boolean thing out, right? And whereas bitwise and or bitwise operators, they act on, let's say, integers or whatever, and gives you back an integer. So because it does it bitwise. That's the only difference between these two.
Answer in base 8 system.
Sorry.
Based in normal numbers. It gives the answer in normal numbers. in bitwise. In logic,
Yes,
it gives the answer in
bitwise.
true or
Yes,
false. Okay.
correct. Correct. Yes. Using VS Code for Python data science is better choice or not? You can use VS Code also, not a problem. Nobody's stopping you. Yeah. If you want to learn deep learning and ML, we should know more about concepts like regressions, etc. Yes. Deep learning and ML, if you want to get into, yes, you will need to know what is regression, how do you do regression, etc., etc.
Hello, Raj.
Yes, Rangan, go ahead.
Please speak a bit about this percentage operator, because I made a mistake in the practice assignment.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. In percentage operation, so that's basically the operator for modulus, right? So let's say in division, right? Let's say if I want to write, yeah, so let's say if I have 5 divided by 3, so ideally this is a float number, right? Or if you write it in integers, this becomes, I mean, you can write 5 as 3 into 1 plus 2, right? So if you divide by 3, you get the quotient of 1 and remainder is 2. So this remainder operation is what the modulus operator is. So 5 modulus 3 will be 2. That's the idea. So it gives you the remainder uh, from the division operation. That's what the modulus operator is. Percentage operator basically.
If the
And
type is not, if the type is not specified like integer or float, we can consider any answer, float answer also, right? As remainder.
So then I would just suggest you to try it out on the Python console. So I get what question you are having a doubt in. So the idea is because it's a Python, I mean it's a coding based exercise, right? So there's no probability involved in the sense that if you do 3 plus 5 in this machine at this point of time, even 10 days later it'll be 3 plus 5 will be 8. That's the idea. So you can just try it out on a Python console and see what answer you get. That could be the way to solve the assignment.
Good evening, sir.
So just a moment. There are other people who have raised the hand. Can you please raise the hand? I'll go one by one. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Madhura, go ahead.
Sir, and for data science, we need not know the very extreme part of Python. That is what I have understood. So can you please describe in a few lines the basic and the most important topics that are needed for Python for data science? The Python that deals with data science. Or what is it like the perfect roadmap to be an intermediate data scientist? Something like that.
Uh, so yeah, you don't need to know complete Python to do data science in Python. And again, so just being able to write functions, which you can call from different files, that sort of a basic knowledge of Python works. You should know how to install libraries because a lot of machine learning now is built upon, let's say, libraries like Keras, PyTorch, and stuff like that. So you should know how to install libraries, how to make sure your code is reproducible. Let's say if I run the same code, 3 times, I should get the same answer, right? And that becomes problematic. I mean, that becomes problematic if you deal with probability distributions, which is exactly what data science and machine learning deal with, right? So these are the things that you should know from Python. Basically, how to install libraries, how to invoke functions from different files, and some libraries, it is better if you know how to do object-oriented programming in Python. So for example, in PyTorch, you can, if you write your code as a class, a class is basically an object-oriented programming concept. So if you write it in form of a class, it becomes very easy to deal with the different aspects of the problem. So those things, if you know that will be, I think that's what even I use generally also
Like, so we need to know
to
objects and classes and inheritance, polymorphism and all that. Only the basics.
again, yes. So I would say you knowing that will make your life easier. That's what I
Okay.
would put it
Okay.
as.
Okay. Then the
Okay.
libraries, is it should be no NumPy pandas is like a must. Should be no Matplotlib, Seaborn, Scikit-learn. Like what are the most necessary ones?
So see, Matplotlib, Seaborn, both try to achieve the same, objective of being able to plot and visualize data. So for starters, you can start with any one. Matplotlib would be the better one because that supports a lot of, customization. That's what I have experienced till now. Again, yes, scikit-learn, PyTorch. So scikit-learn supports a lot of, a basic algorithms, algorithms from data science. PyTorch and Keras and all that, they are useful to do much more complicated, much more complex ML models. Um, right. So for that, based on neural networks and stuff like that. So I would I would get into that if you have such problem statements that you deal with.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Aryan, can you go ahead with your question?
Sir, I wanted to ask if we want to do deep learning or machine learning, then what mathematical topics do we need to learn? Do we need to learn regressions or not? And what are the mathematical topics that we would need to cover for the Python libraries like PyTorch, scikit-learn, etc.?
So the mathematical concepts required for for doing deep learning and all that, yes. So you will need to know a lot of many different aspects go into that. So one would be your, for example, optimization. How do you find, let's say, minimas, maximas for a function? That's where I would start. Then, for example, probability distributions. What is a Banach distribution? What is a Gaussian distribution? And then you would get into regression. So regression is basically, posed as a expectation, conditional expectation problem. So you should know how to expectations of a distribution. Uh, and then you will get into, let's say, function approximations. So that's where your, uh, the ideas from optimization come into play. How do you find the best, function? All of that sort of questions will come into play. Does that help you, Aryan?
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask that what are libraries would be covered in this course? For example, next week you are saying the pandas would be covered. What are the for the fourth week? What all libraries would be considered?
Uh, for the fourth week, I haven't looked at the details. Mm, So, so the previous version of the NPTEL is already always present. So you can just check it. It'll be very slight variation from that. So you can check the previous year's, offering of the same course, and there you can see, week 4 what discussed. The videos are again open, and you can go through those videos. Not a problem.
And sir, last one, I wanted to ask, would there any hands-on project be considered in this course?
I don't think there's a hands-on project component in this course, but you can ask on the discussion group because that would be answered by other TAs in this one. So we are here just to help you navigate the course more easily. So there are other course TAs who know more about the course structure, the exam grading, what will be the exam type, etc., etc.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Uh, Paran, Par, Paranthaman, can you ask a question?
Yes, sir. I just want to ask about the course details. Like, do this course covers any concept like stack, array, and linked list and queue? Like these topics, do it cover in Python data science course or not?
Uh, I I don't think we are. I don't think the course has stack and linked list and all of that. There is a different course. There is a course CS 89. That's I think programming data structures and algorithms with Python. So I'm a TA there also, PMRF TA there also. So there, I think it's covered because there the idea is you want to use Python to solve data science and algorithms sort of problem statements. So there you will have how to construct linked list, queues, and etc. from in Python. You can
So,
see that course if you,
so then,
yeah.
data science. What is the difference between data science and data structure? Like, do data science do not cover that topics like stacks and array, or do data structure only covers it?
So see, data structures are a way to organize your data for doing some some operation efficiently. That's what I would put it as. If your data science problem doesn't require an as efficient storage or organization, you won't use the data structure. So data structure is one part that if you require, you will use it. That's the idea. Data science in general, so then that becomes a question of storage and accessing and all of that. That you will deal with, let's say, when you have like large data. How do you store that? How do you access it, and so on and so on. I don't think we'll be doing that in this course, though.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Shweta GK, can you ask a question?
Yes, sir. Sir, so only do selective courses have the live session question and answering session, or and how to identify them, sir?
Uh, okay. So you might have to ask this to the NPTEL, email, like NPTEL organizers, because I am not sure how to check which courses have, this session, this one. You might have to ask the NPTEL guys. I don't have a clear idea on that.
Sir, and one more doubt, sir. Sir, for becoming a data scientist, besides this course, what other courses would you suggest in NPTEL, sir?
So again, I'm not sure what all courses NPTEL provides. But see, knowing, as I was saying before, knowing a little bit of linear algebra, know a little bit of optimization, probability distributions, and coding with Python, for example. This course will tell you how to do the basics at least, right? These things will help you, become a good scientist at the end of the day. Does that answer your question, Swetha?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Chandan, can you go ahead?
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is related to installation of libraries and their usage. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So regarding that, sir, some environmental variable, those things while installing libraries, where to put that installation file and all those things, and somewhere it requires to define the environment variable in the system. So those things are, can you a little bit tell me about? Sometimes we get a
Okay. Okay. So, see, for example, if this is the terminal that you are seeing, for example, um, uh, in Windows, this will come up as what's it called? Command line, I guess. Yeah. So in that way, for example, let's say if there is some error that tells you, that you need to define some environment variable, the way you would do it is something like this. You will say export, let's say this is the environment variable, for example. Let's say ABC is the environment variable, and you will say what are the value that you provide for this environment variable. Let's say 2, right? And then you can check whether this is the environment variable was the value was set to a right thing or not. So then what happens is internally during the installation process, it will look for this variable during that a terminal session. All right. And then it will say, okay, defined and this value is 2, so I will use 2 and go ahead. That's the idea. Generally speaking, I mean, based on whatever I have done till now, environment variables are generally required when you want to specify some path of some library. For example, whatever you're trying to install doesn't know, like, for example, let's say where MySQL is installed, right? So then what you would do, you would say something like, for example, in my computer, this is where the MySQL is installed. So then you will export MySQL, location, whatever the environment variable is missing according to the library that they're trying to install. You will say this and you will say like this and then try the installation again, right? So then it will say, okay, oh, I found the MySQL location environment variable. The value is this. So this is how you define environment variables for a particular session. But let's say if you want to do this for every time, for example, now, because if I close this session now, then it'll just, who's next? Madhvi, can you ask a question?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
right.
can you explain normal and floor division operators? There are two division operators, normal and floor. There was a question
Yeah.
in a practice assignment.
Yeah. So normal division is basically like something like this, 3/2, right? That's, let's say, 1.5, right? So the idea is that this will just basically do your normal division that you end up doing. Floor division is basically telling you what is the integral of this division. For example, let's say if I do 3.5 by 2, I would get 1.75. But if I do 3.5 divided by 2, it gives me 1.0, right? So that's the integer of this particular uh, normal division. So it's basically floor in the sense, whatever the value of getting, take the lower version, lower closest integer. So that's 1.0, right?
Okay.
And then again, the type depends upon what the types are in, I mean, what are the data types involved in the operation. So just whatever you have in the assignment, just try it out on a local console. You'll see the difference.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Chandan, if your question is answered, can you remove your hand? Sony Pathak, can you ask a question?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, I am from mathematics background and I want to
Yeah.
learn Python for my research research work. So using this 24 lectures, 4-week lecture, can I will be able to programming using Python? Can I will be able to do programming? Whether I will be
Yes.
expert?
So
Yeah.
no. Expert takes time, but the idea is you can get started at least with this. So you will get to know how to use standard libraries like Pandas, NumPy, and with some additional basic ML algorithms. So you can start a work from there. So you will be able to start that much.
So
assure
these
you.
things will be beneficial for me.
Yes. If you want to get into using machine learning, etc., for your work, then this is a good starting point to have, because you need to know a little bit of Python and a little bit of how to read data, how to use these libraries to do your research.
So this is the basic, na sir. I can learn from this, na. This is the basic start. If I have to start the
Yes.
Python, then this is good for me, na. This course.
Yes. That this will be a good
Okay,
addition.
sir.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Abhishek, can you ask a question? Abhishek Kumar.
Good evening, sir. Sir, my question
Good evening.
is कि whatever lecture is provided by the NPTEL, it is more than enough to score a better marks in NPTEL examination. And also, I want to ask that it is more than enough for industry level learnings.
See whether the course contents are enough to solve the exam questions or not. I think in general that is the case. That's how any exams are conducted. But if you have any specific questions, you can ask in the discussion forum. Again, as I mentioned, that there are course TAs who handle the way the course is designed, the way your exams will be designed, etc. The next part of the question was regarding industrial. So as I said to Sony Pathak, that this is a good starting point. So you will be able to at least write code which uses data, which uses Python for doing data science, and from there you can improve on with other courses or with more practice. Does that answer your question, Abhishek?
Yes, sir. I have also one question that if I don't have a much more understanding about the Python language, then can I start with this course? Is it valid, or should I learn the Python first and then I should start this all the things?
No, no. So as I said to Sony again, that this course does cover the basics of Python also. So as if you have not seen the first 2 week lectures, uh, the videos cover exactly on what is a variable, how do you assign a variable. So from that basic level is being taught in this course. So that will help you to learn Python also, and specifically for data science, what that you will know. So this is exactly the good course for you to start if you want to get into data science.
టీమ్ ఉంటుంది దాంట్లో ఉంది
నా దాంట్లో ఉందా?
టీమ్ ఉంది దీనిలో నేను డౌన్లోడ్ చేశాను ఏంది మరి
Does that answer your question, Abhishek?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Nasir, can you ask your question?
Hello, sir. Good evening, one and all. Sir, my doubt is actually I'm using Google Colab, okay, for running all the Python stuffs. Now, my question is now because when I just saw the IDE, the day one, means week one. So, madam was saying that or let it be Jupyter. It depends on as and how we progress. It depends on our use. Depending on that, you are going to choose which IDE you can go ahead. So because in that this Google Colab was not there, because as we know in Google Colab, the advantage is there is nothing like memory storage problem. So now my question is, can I complete now? As you know, many were discussing about in future going for machine learning or then deep learning, etc. So can I completely depend on Google Colab, or I have to also look for the other IDEs?
So again, this question was asked previously. So as I said that Google Colab is enough to start off for this particular course. If you want to, do whatever the assignments that are present, you can use Google Colab. Going forward, also for doing machine learning, many people use Google Colab by default because many ML algorithms require more memory or something. Google Colab does provide those options. So you can start with Google Colab, and then as things get either more complicated, then you'll have to look for alternatives. Is that okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
And sir,
Pradeep.
hello. Sir, one more.
Sorry.
doubt.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Go ahead,
sorry.
Nasir. Yeah.
Sir, I am also with respect to math background, and I also saw some of the NPTEL course like scientific computing by Python by Amit Agarwal, Professor Amit Agarwal, and one more professor. I just forgot the name, Verma, sir. So there, it is not no, they are going with respect to the mathematical background, where we have got ODEs, PDs. Okay, so going for finite element method, etc. So now one more query what I want to know. So is it because machine learning, deep learning will be going with the data? So can we also say that with respect to going with this usual way of scientific computing by using any of the software, it could be Python, MATLAB, or Mathematica, whichever software, can this be overridden by machine learning and deep learning, or we have to still depend on the usual computation where we are going to have finite element method or finite volume method? What is your input on this, sir?
This opinion, but again, machine learning, deep learning, the idea is you try to learn better function approximations. So if you think about ODE solutions also as a function, that function approximation, so an approximate solution to that function can be learned using machine learning and deep learning. There are methods coming up now which are basically deep learning methods for doing ODE and PDE solutions. So those things will improve over time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Pradeep Badikar, can you ask your question?
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, is Python for data science completely dependent on mathematical concepts or partially it is dependent on other concepts also?
Uh, so so here the idea is that you want to use Python, you want to learn Python for doing data science. It's more about trying to learn Python side of things than the math side of things in this course at least. But for
Oh,
doing a good data science project going forward, you need to know a
yeah.
bit of both.
Okay. So that so and one more question is that for being a data science, what the initial thing a student or can an employee be in the touch for that so that he can understand the concepts easily?
So again, I'm not sure if you were not there here, but as I said, little bit of uh, linear algebra, little bit of function optimization,
Yeah.
and function approximation. These six you will need to know going forward.
The initial things, no?
Sorry.
Initial things, yes, sir. So that I am starting basically for this learning courses, right, sir?
Hmm.
So that initial things, so that can understand easily, or he can will be touch with the course. So that's what the things he can perform. I'm asking.
So yeah, so I mean, problems from these domains like linear algebra problems that if you have in, I mean, if you can be in touch with that function optimization, be in touch with that. Those things will be useful. Those you will use routinely when you're trying to do an independent ML, project.
Sir, only this we can. Is it possible to use any other languages like Java, JavaScript for data science, or only Python from your side?
No. Java also has Python, sorry, data science support.
Yeah.
Many, but they're not as uh, uh, famous. That's the idea. Because it becomes a bit
So
difficult
mostly
to.
this Python is only used, right, sir? Now, so I asked.
Yes. Yeah.
Most people use Python for data science, right? So I asked. So.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Meha, can you ask a question? Mehar.
Good evening, sir. I am Meher.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, I have to ask what will be the exact syllabus of this data science exam? Will it be based on the
Will it be
online
based
content?
on the online? Again, so anything regarding the course outline and the exam structure, etc., you can ask on the discussion group. So we are here mainly to help you understand the concepts more deeply. Yeah.
Sir, I have another question regarding flow division.
Okay.
Sir, I have written the question in the chat box. Like, I don't able to solve this question, that how to solve the flow division in this question.
Okay, we'll get there when we go through the chat questions. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Karthik, can you ask a question? Karthik Venkateshan.
No, I just wanted to say that if we can restrict the questions to what the course content is, that would be good. People are asking about deep learning and machine learning. For someone like me who's absolutely new, I mean, first of all, I don't understand any of that, and I don't think they are all relevant for data science. I can be a data science engineer. I don't have to become an ML engineer or a deep science engineer. And people that are CS majors, they are asking very deep questions. Okay. So I think it would be nice if they can restrict their questions to what is being taught in this course. Okay. I mean, those are just comments, and that's a request I'm making to everybody. I mean, I
Thanks,
agreed. I mean,
Karthik.
I can be a data science engineer. I don't have to become a ML engineer or a deep learning engineer, right? Because we are learning we are learning the super basics of Python, correct? Because there are questions where students are asking about, I don't understand floor division. I don't understand this and that. So that's basic. That is available in any language, not just Python. And then the very next question, they go to deep learning and and machine learning and all that.
So once again, your comment is valid, and others, you can take this under advisement as per your this one. Thanks, Karthik, for your opinion. Aryan, can you ask your question?
No, but the thing is, you are wasting everybody's time. It's a 2-hour call. That's all I'm saying. It's a 2-hour call. Who
So do
has
you have any
time?
question?
Who has 2 hours time?
1 second. Do you have a question currently?
I don't have a question. It's a comment. If you are going to entertain such questions, then
So
I
your
won't
so your
join this
comment
call.
is
Okay, if you are gonna
that's
entertain
your
such, then I won't. Yeah.
no, that is your this one, not a problem. Aryan, can you go ahead with the question?
Sir, I wanted to ask, as a previous student asked you about Google Colab, I wanted to say regarding offline IDs, what is the difference between using VS Code than using IDs that are block-based, for example, PyCharm or Spider or Jupyter IDs? What is the difference between using both of them, and which is better for data science?
Again, as I said, like there's no huge difference when it comes to any of the IDs for understanding data science or for doing data science. Um, it will change as per your requirement, right? So you can start with any of them again, as I said. So I would suggest start with one, and then if you feel anything is different, you can move on to some other.
So is there any major difference between both of them? For example, in block IDs, we take a cell and run it first. In VS Code, we have to run the whole program. Is there any advantage or disadvantages using any of these?
So the advantage then is basically just that you will be able to run part by part in your block IDs in Jupyter, for example, and in Colab, for example, right? But you can do that similar thing with debugging facility in normal IDs. So again, as I said, there's no huge difference between them. You can do it one after the other or not. It's just that in Jupyter and in Colab, it's more easy to do like visualization sort of stuff. For example, let's say you can actually see what the output of the command is for every different cell. Here, you'll have to do it by yourself. That's it. That's not going to affect in any way your understanding of the concept, right?
Thank you, sir.
Rachit, can you ask a question?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
So my question was actually similar to Aryan. The videos that are provided to us are actually 2.5 year old. So there are many changes that have been done. For example, we are working on Spider, so the whole structure or everything is changed in the Spider ID, and there are other IDs like VS Code also. So is it okay if we are using some other ID like VS Code, and are the changes that have been done in the matlab, years ahead? So is it the code?
So I think what you're saying is that there are the ID from the what the video was from when the video was made. So you mentioned again on the discussion forum. that if they can update the video with the newest version. But again, I would say that, these IDEs are like basically like softwares. So the view and the feel might change, but overall underlying functionality would be the similar. For example, let's say if there was something like the command, the variable wala variables visualization wala part that is there in Spider might look different now, but its functionality is similar, right? I mean, all the variables will be present there. That's the idea. So I would suggest take that as a bigger uh, bigger bigger understanding. Is that okay, Rachit? But yeah, I mean, your request is valid that they can change the video now, so that you can request on the discussion forum. Is that okay?
So the content available is according to the latest only, right? Is it enough for the latest that is going on?
Again, I don't use Spider, so I'm not completely aware. I haven't done the one-to-one matching, but you can try out the IDE right now and see how it looks and feel.
Okay, so thank you.
Pradeep, if your question is over, lower your hand. Paranthaman, can you ask a question?
Yes, sir. In this course, there are so many kinds of modules covered, right, sir? Like NumPy and Python, Pandas. Can you explain about the two modules, sir? Because as I am a beginner, I want to understand the NumPy and the Pandas and how the arrays will be included in the Pandas. Like, what is the data frame?
So pandas will be covered in the week 3 lectures. So, we can see there. And then, we can have a more better uh, discussion around that, what is not clear. Similarly, NumPy is being covered in the week 2, I think. So I would suggest just go to the videos once. If something is unclear, we can have a more targeted question instead of like the whole NumPy
Oh,
edition.
yeah. Okay, sir. But in offline exam, like we are going to write at the September 20 for this course. It will be covered more Python basics, or it will be covered like modules based questions, like what I can use.
Again, as I said, regarding question paper, regarding course content, you need to ask on the discussion forum because that is handled by course TAs. We are here mainly for helping you to understand the concept more detail, not about the exam, not about the course content. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Arpita, can you ask a question?
Hello, sir. Is this course enough for a complete data science, or we need to focus on other?
Yeah. So you need to learn a bit linear algebra function approximation to become as basics, and then this course can help you do that in Python. That's the idea of this course.
Okay, sir. Like for data science, not only Python includes, other also includes, right, sir?
Others in sense what?
Like other language, ML, machine learning also include.
So machine learning is a technique. You can implement that in any language. Programming language is mainly for as a way to make the machine do the work for you, right? So ML, machine learning, is a technique. So you can do that in Python also. These are two different things. So, but as a first step, you can learn Python because that's generally used now. So it'll be easier for you to catch on things.
So at the end of this course, we'll get the idea how to build data science projects.
Yes, because the fourth week, you will do a bit of, I think some basic ML algorithms will be discussed. So that will give you an idea on how to get started with machine learning and in Python. Yeah.
Okay, sir. This is the intermediate or beginner level course.
I don't know the distinction of this. I don't know how to distinguish
Okay.
between them. You will have to ask the NPTEL.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Chandan Kumar, can you ask a question?
Hello. Sir, my
Go ahead,
question is
Chandan.
related to this one. A little bit basic
Yeah.
understanding about this thing, Python and other
Go
things
ahead.
related. Like, this Python is a programming language, and IDE also related to IDE, the development environment. So, what are the different roles? First is the DB database that I will, and then programming language IDE. So, correlation roles of different uh, elements, particularly these things. Like if particularly talking about IDE, for this will be used for development, testing, production, all three functions. So same IDE can be used for testing and development purpose and deploying to production as well. Or what difference is like if the same IDE we are going to use for all the three functions, then what differentiates how major macro view how the three functions proceed.
Again, see deployment and all that. Because it's not being covered in this course, I don't want to comment more on that. But again, yes, you can use IDEs for doing development, and deploy code online on servers and stuff like that. I am not sure what the question here is, though. If the
Sir,
question is that it can be
just
used, then yes, it can be used.
just to understand that if a Python language I'm using, so let us say for a building application, this language is being used. So same IDE the developers will be using it for testing, and
Yes. Again, same IDE for so again there are multiple IDEs available. So different companies can prefer different IDEs. One. So if you're changing a role or if you're writing the code for some other company, then it can be different. That you don't have a control over that. Again, with respect to the use one IDE, stick to it for now. You will be able to do the course well. Okay. Regarding development, testing, and all that, again, I don't want to comment more on that.
And the same deleted parts, the database part, that once the application is built this way, then the CRUD function, the Python can also be used for CRUD function, like accessing data from the database. The application build data is built in that one. Data is populated, created, and all to the stored data, live data or whatever static data it is. So those data I want to extract from that. So for accessing data through using Python. So what will be the use of this thing, the Python, what it will be doing, how Python will be doing accessing data and then further analyzing it and producing the result of data analysis or analytics.
So yes, I mean, if your question is, can Python be used to store and read data and all? I mean, store and read data. Yes, it can be used. There are libraries available in Python to do any database system for that matter. You can communicate with Python code. And then yes, you can build a whole end-to-end pipeline, storing, reading, and doing the analysis and producing the result, for example, using matplotlib library, etc. Does that answer your question?
Okay, so only password, localhost, and username, those things will be required for accessing the database. And then once we get the access to the database, then we have the data, we can analyze it using Python libraries, correct?
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Balaji, can you ask a question?
So good evening, sir. Actually, I wanted to ask you that only these programs, what the NPTEL are being provided as, will not be relevant to like get expertised in the Python. So can you please suggest us, like, can you please suggest me, like, do you like any other sources so that we can find different Python programs and we can explore ourselves?
So NPTEL is not giving any Python programs as part of the course. It's teaching you Python. So it's teaching the basics of Python. And then again, as as with anything, if you know the basics once, you just need to practice it over and over. So for that, if you want to do more and more complex stuff, use Python. More and more, like let's say data structures sort of things, then Lead Code is a good alternative. But if you want to do more like data science sort of projects, then you can look at Kaggle and other such platforms where you will get uh, problem statements, and then you can practice on those problem statements and build your Python skill or your data science skill.
Okay. Sir, sorry to ask you like this. I'm a fresher over here. So, could you please spell out, could you please spell out Kaggle?
Oh, Kaggle, Kaggle.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Patel, can you ask a question?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, when will be the sample questions or sample problems will be explained by your side, as it has been mentioned that this session is especially conducted for that only, but it has not yet been started.
So that's why I asked the beginning, like, so we can just do question. What if you have any doubts, you can ask the question to me. We can do it. For example, we were doing here about bitwise and logical and floor division. So if you have any question, we can do that.
But sir, it has been written that you will explain some sample problems which will ultimately help us to solve the upcoming assignments which are being given to us.
Uh, okay, so we can do this one. What do you call that? The practice assignment that we so quiz we cannot do because that's graded, but the practice assignment we can do each question by question, and then shall we do that then? If you have no other questions here.
No, sir, sample problems. So it is the assignment questions only.
So we can do that, or I mean, the point is, if you have any questions for me, I can solve that.
Okay. No, sir, I thought that it is about you will explain us some sample questions because it was written. That's why I asked.
So I was just thinking that we can do the sample, the practice assignment itself. And if you have any, so we'll do that then, right? Okay.
And sir, one more question
uh,
I want to ask you. So, sir, the one who are pursuing and doing pursuing this course and want to do this in depth and want to be a data science in Python. So, do they have a good opportunity in the upcoming future?
Again, these are all go towards opinions. Let's
Sir, I
keep the
want to
questions
know
on
your
towards the
opinion
course.
from your side.
Do they have good future, you're asking? Yes, there is a good future. As long as you'd work with conviction, everything has a good future.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you.
Ganesh, Karam Sethi, can you ask a question?
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
sir, we have submit the assignment, but where can I see the assignment marks, sir?
So the quiz that you have, the marks will come only the next week once it is graded. So whatever as you have written, that will be graded, and you will get the score after the grading is done. Then you cannot edit your basically giving solving the exam paper and giving the exam paper. You get the marks later, right? That's the idea.
Sir, can you this record section, sir? Can you provide this section is recorded or not, sir?
All of these sessions that will happen, that is the next, including this, there are 4 sessions. So all of these sessions will be recorded and the link will be provided to you by the NPTEL team.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Palak, go ahead. Go ahead. You have another question?
No, sir, no. It was I did before, not right now.
Okay, no worries. So I think any questions regarding the exam portion, exam type, etc. All of those are you can ask from the discussion forum. The course TAs will handle. Momita Das, you had a question on this one, right? Could you explain the difference between list, tuple, and range in sequence data? Uh, yeah, um, so I'll ask this question in general itself. So let's say if I were to write a something like this, for example, 2, 3, and 4. So this is basically a list, right? This becomes a tuple. So the idea between the difference between these two is that you can edit the list, right? It's something called as a mutable data set. So you can data structure. So you can change the items in the list. Tuple, you cannot change the items. So let's say if I were to write something of 2 as 10 and then look at lseek, the same variable again, you can see the third element, that is because Python indexing starts from 0. So this is lseek of 0, lseek of 1, lseek of 2. So I've said that lseek of 2 should be now 10. So that will change it to 2, 3, and 10. But tseek of 2, if I do as 10, this will throw an error saying that you cannot change the element. It's called as immutable data structure, right? So that is one thing. Range again can only give you integer range sequences, right? For example, let's say if I wrote something uh, uh, like this, right? Range. So let's say, as you can see, you can only get integer this one, but again, lseek or list in general can be any item. So if I seek lseek now, this can be integer, string, float, any data structure can be provided as an element in the lseek in a list, right? So that's one of the major differences that exists between lseek, tseek, and a range, right? That's the idea. So there was a question on how to solve floor division in this question. A equal to 15, result is this one. So see, that's the uh, uh, beauty about doing programming sort of courses, right? So write this down, put this down in the Python console and see what is coming as a result, and then try to build your understanding of what should be the right thing to do. And we also discussed about precedence of operators, that is which operator has higher priority compared to the other. So for that, that will help you understand how the expression is evaluated, and then you can solve the question, right? Right. So tuple is not a tuple is a immutable object. That is, you cannot change the items in this one. Okay. So your uh, quiz is basically these questions. Now this is graded, so we can't discuss this exactly. But we can do the practice assignment, right? So and then we can see, if you have any, because the questions are similar to your quiz. So if you can solve this and see, what is the doubts, we can clear from there. So first question, do people have any thoughts on what the right answer is for the first question? Which of the following is a valid variable name?
The option 3, sir. ROM_2.
RAM_2. So does anyone have a doubt on why that's the only valid variable name? Are the others not? Why are the others not okay? Any thoughts? If you have any doubt on such kind of questions, right, you can try to solve it in this form. Again, because you have a Python console open with you, you can just try it out and see what Python tells you, right? For example, let's say the first option was .ram2, right? So if I were to try to assign a value to this variable, if this was a valid variable naming convention, I would just be able to do that, but it doesn't seem like it's possible to do it, right? And let's say if I do ram.2 equals to 3, that also seems to be giving me a invalid syntax. But if I do ram_2 equals to 3, it seems to work, right? And you can see here in this, for example, side that ram_2 equal to 3 is present. In Spyder, this will look like this will be on the top left corner. Okay, so where you will see variables and what value they're holding at that moment. Yeah, so ram_2 is the right answer. Any doubts on this? Okay.
Sir.
Can you explain shift operator? Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that in a minute. Bhumika, what is not clear? Explain the question. This is the question, right? So a variable is a entity which will hold some value for you. So the idea is what can be declared the variable name. So ram_2 is the only the right one. Yeah. And you can test it out using this sort of a system, right? So where you try to assign some value to the variable, and if it fails, that's the question. That's the idea. Which is the following statement is invalid, right? So statement invalid we are looking at. So which one do you think is invalid among all of these three? Any
Option B, sir.
thoughts? Option B. Yeah. Why is that invalid?
We have used dot in between instead of other things.
Right. Exactly. Right. So M, comma, N, comma, because then what happens is you have three values after the equality sign. So each of these then get assigned to the respective variables. M dot N dot Q is not a value in Python. Assignment operator used in Python is, third question, what's the right answer? Code, right? So assignment, that is you are giving a value to some variable that you will do using a single equal. Double equal to is used to understand whether the value is equal or not. So it's the relation operator versus assignment operator. Okay. So if I were to do something like 3 equal to 4, then that is false. Checking whether the two values are equal. But if I were to do, for example, let's say here, like ram_2 equal to 3, then that's the assignment operator. Okay. Which command would you use to find the data type of a variable? Sorry.
B, sir.
Yeah, which
Option B, type of.
Option,
sir.
type, right? Yeah, that's correct. So if you, let's say if I wrote type of 3.0, that gives me float. That's exactly what 3.0 is. And type of 3 will be int, right? Because it's an integer. So type is used to understand the type, data type of the variable. Now, so such
in Python,
yeah.
In Python, we won't use like in Spyder, you are not using a print statement. Though it is printing the output, how it is it?
Yeah, no. So this is the console. In Python console, the idea is that it will always give you the output of the operation that you're doing. Console is different. The print option that you were seeing, that's in a file. For example, if I were to solve run it as a file, for example, say if I create a file here and then say, 3 equal to 4. If I were to run this file, then there's no output here. For that, then I have to use, let's say, print, right? That will give you the answer as false. Is that clear? So that's basically running a file versus running in console. That's the difference.
Yes, sir. Do terminal and console the same or different, sir?
It's the same.
In the
So yeah, so basically the console just opens up a terminal internally. Again, this is PyCharm, this one, but generally console just means terminal.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so in terminal also I can do the same thing. So this is a terminal op, for example. If you do the exact same thing that you will get here. Okay, fine. Now, what will be the output of after the for statements are executed? So basically here, x is 300, y is 17, and x mod y equals to, I mean, the percentage equal to y is there, print of x. So first of all, what is percentage operation? What does it do? We discussed this just now in the call. I mean.
Reminder.
Reminder, right? So it gives a remainder of the division, right? So here, what division are we doing, by the way? But what is being divided by what?
300 divided, divides 17, it gives the reminder.
Right. So for example, so when you have something like, this, that is x mod equals to y, right? So this basically just means that you're taking x percentage y and then assigning the value back to x, right? So x was 300. 300 division by 17. We want the remainder of this. What's the remainder of it when you divide 300 by 17?
11, sir.
11, right? So 11 is what the operation output is. So this is 11. So then you get x becomes 11. So that's the answer here. X becomes 11, right? So and then instead of, I mean, that's one way of doing it. You can just run the same thing here. So you can just say, okay, x is 300, y is 17, x percentage equals to y. Right now, because so this is basically a shorthand assignment operator, because you wanted to say x equals to x percentage y. You have made that into a shorter expression, so it's called a shorthand assignment operation. So now you can just look at what the value of x is. That is right. That's the idea. Okay. So see, so with this, I mean, using the Python console now, I think you should be able to solve very accurately the week 1 questions, right? Because all of these will just basically end up, if you have access to, I mean, if you can run a console, you can just try out all of these in that and see what the answer is. But before doing that, the idea is that if you get a clarity on what the possible output, that will build your knowledge about Python. Right? For example, in this question, what is the precedence that the operators will be, run between? Then what's the answer with that? And then you can verify it on console. Right? Okay. Somebody had question on shift operator. Janani, what is your question? Can you
So actually, I don't understand how that works. Actually, they didn't explain it in the video. Actually, we had the lecture notes along for that. And that's why.
Okay. So, shift operator. So basically, yeah. So basically, let's say if you have a variable, let's say 10. Okay, x is 10, right? Now, shift operator. Let's say if I do a left shift, so this is a left shift operation or operator symbol, x less than, and then if I write some number here, let's say 1, right? So what that means is, again, so this 10 is in the decimal notation, right? So so to know what this final value will be, you will need to look at this particular number in the binary format, right? So what is the binary number for 10? Binary representation for 10?
1010.
thoughts? 1010, right? So then what left shift by 1 means is that you will shift all the bits by 1 bit towards the left, right? So if 1010 is there, imagine, so this is, let's say, your storage, where this is how it's being stored, right? Then you'll shift by 1 bit. So then what will happen is, for the same storage, you will now have, so 1010 is here, and then 0 here remains at 0. So when you shift by 1 1 bit, the new value that you will fill is 0 by default. Okay, so now what is this in decimal? What will this be in decimal?
20.
20, right? This is a way you can, you would do it, right? So it's 16 plus for 20, right? So ideally speaking, whenever you have, so this is your left shift operation. So let's say if I want to do left shift by, let's say, y, x less than y, then this basically ends up multiplying x with, I think, 2 power y. This is in terms of your decimal operation, right? So here we're doing 1. So it multiplied by 2, right? That's the result of this operation, x less than 1. If I were to do 2, then it shift by 2 decimals, 2 bits, right? That will basically be like multiplying with 4. That's the idea. This is the left shift operation. Right shift operation, similarly, let's say x greater than 1, will then basically, in the same way, you will have, so this last bit, whatever is the last bit, for example, this could be 1 or a 0, whatever, that is dropped. So then 101, that is 101, becomes the rightmost element. And now when I'm shifting towards the right, the first bit, the MSB, that's the most significant bit, that is empty.
Kayak Wiman kan itulah. Wiman.
So that becomes empty. So that is then set to as 0. So remaining are all 0 here anyway. So this is, so what is this number in decimal?
5, sir.
5, right? That's it. It's 5. So basically, right shift operation becomes x divided by 2 power y. Let's say if we were to do x greater than y, but this is not just division. This is a floor division, right? You will take a lower value for this, because if this was 1, for example, so imagine that if this was 11, right? So 11 is 1011. If I were to shift by 1 digit, 1 bit, sorry, 1 bit towards the right, this will again become 101, right? This is now dropped. Okay, so this becomes 5. So 11 by 2 is 5.5 in usual division. It's floor, that it's the which is lower than that, but highest for that, highest smaller integer, that is given by the floor operation. So that is 5. Does that clear it out?
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Bitwise operator. Okay, we'll do that once again. Okay, fine. So Rima Saha, who will guide if you're stuck at any point? The discussion forum is present, and also these live sessions will happen for the next 3 weeks, right? Every Monday, same 6 to 8 p.m. Yeah, so bitwise, again, the idea is very simple. So again, you will have similar, so go back to your bit representations, right? Yeah, so bit representations. So let's say if I had 5 and 3, for example. So look at 5 ka representation 101 and 3 is 011, right? So you're not doing bitwise add. So 1 and 1, true and true is true. So that's 1, 0 and 1 is 0, 1 and 0 is 0. So now the answer become 1 in decimal also. Well, let's just do 7 here. 5 and 7 gives you 5. Right? So this is a bitwise operation. So this is bitwise AND. For example, if I were to do bitwise OR 5 or 7, so then you will have 101, 111. Then bitwise OR operation, you will look at the each bit. You will just do the ORing operation. So 1 or 1 is 1, 0 or 1 is 1, 1 or 1 is 1. So this becomes again 7. So this is the idea of bitwise AND and bitwise OR operators. Okay. Yeah, so this session will start at 6 p.m. exactly every week. Every Monday for the next 3 Mondays, we'll have from 6 to 8 p.m. Bitwise right shift 10 greater than 3. Okay. So what's the question here? Priyanshu, you just written a statement. What's the you don't need to save this video. This video will be uploaded, and the link for that it on YouTube, and that link will be provided to you by NPTEL, announcements. Okay. Link will be same. Link will be same for this particular session. Whatever link you had gotten, bit.ly, right? The link will be same. Just join on every Monday. Yeah, so we'll do the precedence of operators once again, let's say, right? So, right. For example, let's say if you want to evaluate this particular expression in mathematics, right? 3 plus 4 into 2, how would you do it? You would first multiply 4 into 2 and then add 3 to it, right? So that is, but you could also do you could also do 3 plus 4 first and then multiply by 2, right? But we don't do that because there is a agreed upon convention that, okay, whenever you have multiplication and addition, first do the multiplication and then do the addition. That's basically called as the Bodmer's rule, right? So so in the same way, whenever in any expression, for example, if you have multiple such operations involved, precedence of operators helps the Python execution understand what to evaluate first and then what to evaluate. So that is basically a set upon agreed upon convention that any Python implementation should follow. Right. So that's the idea. So, so then, for example, let's say when you want to do something like this, 3 plus 4 into 2. So 4 into 2 gets evaluated first, and then 3 is added. And that doesn't matter about where this plus and star is coming from, right? It happens even here, right? That's the idea. So that's what operator precedence is. Okay. So, yeah, so you will need to know exactly what which operator has higher precedence. In that way, the whatever you have the statement will be solved, okay, by Python. So you will need to know exactly which operators have which higher precedence or not, and that's explained in the video. So you just need to look into that and learn that. Indexing and negative indexing. Yes, we'll get there. That's a relational operator. The precedence. Can you explain? So what's the question? I thought all the relational operators are the same, right? So let's say if you have 3 less than 4, and then plus 2, right? So it's basically saying that addition has higher precedence. So you will evaluate 4 plus 2 first, and then you will do the relation operation. So think of operators as basically telling, you take in one or 2 or 3, whatever number of arguments, and then give output. So here 4 plus 2 is first done. It gives an output of 6, and then the 3 is less than 6 is evaluated, right? Which is the answer is true. So relation operators given true or false. That's the output. Yeah. Where are those assignments that you solved right now? Or do you mean this one? This that I'm writing, that I will provide as a PDF. Again, that link I will share, the NPTEL that link, and they will share that link with you, right? So whatever we are writing, whatever the video that the call we are having, the video call will all be recorded and shared with you. Let's go back to the question on the negative indexing. Okay, so negative indexing. So started. Yeah. So let's say I'll form a list. NPTEL 10 and 6, right? So let's say if I have LSEQ of 0, it's going to be NPTEL. 1 will give you 10, 2 will give you 3, right? LSEQ of 3 gives you an error, right? Because there's no fourth element in this list, but LSEQ of -1 gives you 3.6, because so in Python at least it supports indexing going back in the negative in the reverse direction, right? So when you say -1, what Python does is it takes it as saying in the reverse direction, give me the right, that is LSEQ of -1, right? That's the idea. LSEQ of -2 will be 10, 3 will be NPTEL, 4 will be again out of list because there's no fourth element even when I go from the backward, right? That's the idea. So that is the one feature of Python. It supports negative indexing also, right? Does that answer your question? Who had asked it? Nandini, right? Does that answer your question? Okay, I'm going to assume it's answered. Overall precedence chart, it's present in the video. I don't have it handy right now, but it's present in the video, so you can take it from there. Assignment set after the duration is over. So after the due date, you will get your this one. If it is positive, it starts from 0. It's right, sir. Yes. Positive is basically in the right direction, right? Negative is from the right to left direction. That's the idea. And in the positive, it starts from 0. That's correct. Negative, it starts from 1. So -1 is the last element. That is the first from the reverse direction. Please explain binary operators. So again, I've explained the binary and or. Do you have any specific question? There is only one assignment till now that you need to, I mean, two assignments that are due. Yeah, so the deadline is 6th August for the first assignment also. So you haven't missed anything. Subrata, we just saw this question. Do you have anything different from this? Arrays and list. Yeah. So arrays, as you can remember, so it's a NumPy library object at the end of the day. List is a more Python object, right? So and again, list can store any data type in it. Arrays are meant for numbers, precisely. NumPy arrays are meant for numbers. There also you can store, but then that becomes a bit difficult to work with them. That's the main difference between these two. Okay. Any other doubts, questions? No other doubts? Everything is clear. Sequence data type and non-data type. Is that the question? So sequence data type are mainly meant for storing sequences. That's list, tuples, etc. And non-sequence are basically for non-sequential data. What's the question here? How for data history? How is what helping for data history? So brother, can you clarify that? Any other questions? Yeah, somebody had a question on precedence of operators, the precedence in order. So that is present in the operators video itself, right? Towards the last section. So parenthesis gets the first precedence, then exponent, then division, then multiplication, then addition, subtraction, and then the bitwise and or. Right? And after that, you get the relational operators, then the logical operators, not and or. Okay. So I'm not sure about the question here. How is Python helping for data storage? So Python is a tool, is a programming language to help you do the data storage. Data storage can be done in multiple different forms. For that, you will need to get into DBMS. That yeah. How many of you have doubt on slicing? Did all of you understand slicing operation? How to do slicing and that sort of a thing? That part of the course. Yes, Chandru, go ahead. About slicing. Yeah. So what don't you understand about slicing? Is there a specific question you can ask in the chat? Three is to two. Is that the question? Okay. So let's see what works here. So let's say I'll define the range object. L, as you can see, is a very long list of 3, 7, 11, 15, and so on, right? So now if I were to say L 3 to 2, this gives me an empty list. Can someone tell me why it's empty? But if I were to do something like 2 is to 3, it gives 11 is what? 0, 1, 2. It is the third element in this list, right? So can anyone tell me why the first one was empty, but the second one gives me an element? A list with one element.
Either we have to move from right to left or left to right. So 3:2 means starting value is 3 and they are given next 2 values. So I think we don't get any value.
Starting from 3 and next to 2
Yes.
values, or until 2? Until second element.
No, sir, I didn't get it.
Sir, I guess
So-
first one will work when we use negative indexing because it index starts from positive 0 to from larger to smaller. Then we need to use negative indexing, which will give answer. Is that so?
So, yeah. So if you see here, basically means 3 from in positive index means what? The fourth element, right? So we're saying, give me the list from the fourth element till what? Till 2 is third element. But again, list is ordered, right? So from the fourth element, you can't go back to the third element, right? So therefore, it becomes basically an empty list. There's nothing after the third element, a fourth element to which can give me which go until the third element, right? That's the idea. So health of 3 schedules is an empty list. Here, what it means here, it says go from the third element. 2 means third element up to fourth element. But don't take the fourth element, which means just the third element, which is 3, 7, 11 is the third element in this list, right? That's the idea. Okay. So if I were to do, let's say 3 minus 1, this basically means go from the fourth element until the end. Minus 1 is tells you until the end, right? But again, don't take that. Always in Python, the last whatever is there in the sort of slicing operations, you don't consider that element again, right? So here it will be from the fourth element, which is 15 to, and then you can see until 95. Is that clear? And then, for example, let's say minus 10. This will give me until 59. So minus 10 is basically 10 last. That would be your 59. Yes. Yeah, correct. 59. Right. That's the idea. Is that clear? Correct. Start index is stop index, and stop index is not considered. Right. That's the idea. 1 with 0. Let's try it out. Again, empty. Right. So start from the second element and go up till the first element. You can't do that in that order. So therefore, it's an empty list. So will we consider the minus 10th element? No, we shouldn't. That won't be the thing. Is it not the minus 10th element? So what is L of minus 10? 63, right? So 63 is not considered. So it will go up till 59. That's exactly what this is. L of 3 to minus 10 is up till the 10th element from the last. But don't consider it, right? Is not taken. Up till 59 is taken. Python ID instead of Jupyter. Yes, it'll get the same values. Doesn't matter. Dhanlakshmi, you have just given a expression. What is the question? Recording will be provided. It will be uploaded on YouTube and be shared with you by NPTEL. They'll share it in an email. Okay. Any other question? How many have you? How many of you have a doubt on dictionary set data types? Any doubts on that? So what is a dictionary? When do you use a dictionary versus when do you use a set?
So it is used to store element. It is used in a key value base. If we want value, then we ask like we want like we'll specify key. It will return the value.
Correct. That's a dictionary. Correct. So that's dictionary. So what is a set?
So
A set is an
will
ordered collection,
is the unordered
unordered
collection
collection
of
with unique values.
That's correct. It's an unordered collection, right? So in this L list, for example, it has a particular order of the elements that is stored here, but in set the order is not specified. So it's an unordered collection of elements. Can a set have any kind of elements in it? Like can I have, for example, a string and a and a integer and a float in it in a
Yes,
set?
it can have.
It can have, right? Just like list, it can support any data type as its elements, right? What about dictionary? Can the dictionary values that you get, can they be of any data type, or do they have to be some specific data type?
Yes, any data type. Yes.
Any data type. What about the keys of a dictionary?
Keys also can be of any data type. I mean, it can be number, it can be strings as well.
He should be unique, right?
It has to be unique, right? That's correct. So basically, dictionary. So you can think of the keys of a dictionary like a set in that sense, in a very broad sense, right? It's unordered, but it has to be unique. You cannot have multiple values for the same key. I mean, while storing and while keeping it. So let's say if there's a dictionary that I want to create, 3.0 to P, right? So D, if I were to look at it, so D of 3.0 is P. If I put that here, that's how your so it can be number, it can be string, but so I wouldn't say that key can be any data type. See again, okay, this is going into object-oriented programming, but so it should be some hashable, basically.
Yes.
Idea, right? Key, because that gets stored in that way. Okay, anyway, if you want first to last element, how set the operation? So see that's the whole point of a set, right? Set is an unordered collection, so there is no concept of first or last element. That's why you don't do slicing and everything on set, right? You can use for loop to list the items, for example, let's say, right? I mean, whatever is there. Or you can use list itself from a set. For example, let's say if I define a set like this, 3, 4, and 5. So there is no S of 0, right? But if I do list of set, so what it does, so sorry, list of S, right? What it does is it takes iterates elements of the set S and creates a list out of it, right? Let's say ls equal to list of S. This will now have some order in it, which we know, right? List always has an order. So as you can see, a list of ls here has 3, 4, and 5. That's the order that they are stored in this list.
Sir, in what scenarios does we use list and dictionary?
List and dictionary. So again, so the idea is that if you want a ordered collection of items, then you would use list, right? For example, let's say if you were storing the names of names of students in a class, right? You're trying to make some sort of attendance system, right? So then you will want to store it in, let's say, in a ordered by their name, right? For example, if you want to help the teacher do take the roll call easily, you will have a list. You'll go by in some order. Dictionary, for example, could be useful when you want to just store, for example, their marks against their name, right? There it doesn't matter in what order you store them, right? So let's say somebody called Raj gets 60 marks. Somebody called Rajesh gets a marks of 80. So it doesn't matter in what order you store Raj and Rajesh, but the idea being that you should be correct about the mapping. 60 cannot be given to Rajesh. That's the thing. So dictionary is basically used when you want to keep the mapping, proper. List is used where you want to keep the order proper.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other questions on sequence data types or anything else for that matter? Sequence data sorry. Why do we need to learn about set data type if we have list data type? So this is basically, let's say, when you want to make sure that there are unique things in the list, those sort of things. So see, just think about what is the difference between list and set. It's basically the idea of unorderedness and orderedness. Point number one. Point number two, it's about unique elements, right? So if you want your data set or your variable to contain only the unique elements, having it as a set is more useful, right, than having it as a list. So then that uniqueness is all automatically enforced in that variable. Versus if you use it as you can put even duplicate elements, and then you will have to do that extra work of making sure, okay, things are duplicate or not and stuff like that. Right? That's the main difference. Okay. Anything else?
Sorry, is it set and dictionary and non-sequential data type?
Set and dictionary. Yeah, so dictionary is non-sequential in some sense. Set is also sort of because there's no order involved. But so it's basically like a collection of items. Set and
it is also an unordered collection. Set is also unordered.
Unordered collection, right? So therefore, that's not sequential in that sense, right?
Thank you, sir.
how many types of slicing in the sense? So you can either do it with a slice object that you have. So for example, in the videos, the first example it starts off with is with you construct the slice object, right? That's one way of doing it. And that's mainly useful when you have a bit more complex slicing involved. But if you have very simplistic things like, for example, what we're trying here, let's say 3 minus 1 or 2, so you can just do it in that way. But again, the internally what Python would do is it just convert this 2 is to 3 as a slice object and then do the slicing internally on the sequence that you have. Yeah. What is lambda function? So lambda function is basically like a anonymous function. You don't need to name the function. That's how it's defined. But again, let's not get into that. I don't think lambda functions are taught in the course, right? So
So, like, if you want to obtain second value in a tuple, we need like we have a defined function, or we need to convert to list, and then we get the value of second or third element.
tuple is again
Yes, sir.
ordered, right? So you can do it by itself. For example, let's say if I were to define a tuple like this. And so how would element in a list, for example, if you had to do, you would say some list of 1, right? Same thing, you will do it here. So you get the second element. Because it's an ordered collection, you don't need anything to do extra and to get the second element as such.
So for set, how it will work?
But set is not ordered collection, no? So what is second element? What does the mean? What is the way to understand what is second element? There's no order
So
only.
like in list we have indexing. So from indexing we can obtain the values. But how this will work in set analysis?
Oh, you're saying you want to get all the elements of a set?
Yeah, so like if you want to get a particular value in a set, how will it work? Like in a list, it will work as a list of 2 means it will return some value, but in set, how will it work?
So that you will do with pop operation, no? So I think s dot pop, whatever, that's what it does. So you'll get one by one, you'll get elements from this set. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Mhm. What is decorator? Where are you getting these questions? Why do you want to know what decorator? So decorator is again, it's a function which takes in a function as an input sort of and gives you that function in a modified form, right? So it becomes easier when you want to do like a very sort of generic operations on multiple different functions, right? So then decorators are useful. So they provide some additional functionality over that function and then gives you the same function again. Study materials are in the NPTEL website. What is encapsulation? So encapsulation is an but so Chandru, I think you're in the wrong course. But okay, any other doubts? So anyway, I think so next week we can discuss about more about the sequence data sets, data types in more detail, and also about the NumPy library, right? Um, Again, so right, so tomorrow also you have a a live session by another PMRFTA. So they will, if you have any other, doubts, you can get it clarified in that session. All right. Um, Recording, yes. The link for this video from the NPTEL announcement, this one, okay? Yield keyword. Yeah, so TK, we can discuss all of this in the next session, not a problem, right? So, okay, so see, if you want me to discuss a bit more OOPS sort of, concepts of Python also, let me know. We can do that also next week. We can have like a half an hour session just for object-oriented programming in Python. Yeah. Okay, so we can. Okay, so this yes sir is for what? For the OOPS concept? Okay, fine. So we'll do like a half an hour session on object-oriented programming, right? So if time remains, we'll first do the material in the NPTEL, this one. Okay. Yeah, we can also do this yield keyword and that sort of thing. So some more detail if you want to get into Python, we can do that, not a problem, right? Decorators, generator functions, all of that we can do, not a problem. Right, clean, readable Python code for teamwork. Yeah, so that goes into code maintenance. We'll see if you have some time, we can do it next week. Okay. Okay, fine. There won't be any issues if you couldn't attend the live sessions. Live sessions are recorded for this exact purpose. So you can view the live session later on if you miss them. But I would encourage you to attend them because you can ask the doubt right now and get it cleared. Okay. Way to use tuple. Yeah. So again, as I said, array and tuple main difference is that the data types can be different in tuple, but array cannot be that way. Right. And tuple is basically where you don't want any change to happen to that element. For example, as I mentioned, I don't know if it's here. So tuple elements you cannot change. They're called as immutable objects, right? So, but whereas array elements you can change, right? So that's the idea. So, so we can. So if you don't want it to change, then you need to use tuples. Why we need array? See, try to think about what is the difference between the two and where you would use one over the other. All right. Okay. So more doubts again tomorrow. There's a session by a different PMRF TA. They will they can answer you. They can answer more doubts on these concepts. Okay. All right. Hopefully this was useful. So we'll meet again next Monday, same time, 6 to 8 p.m. Same link also. Yeah, no change to the link, no change to the time. Okay. Okay. Stop the recording now.